If you've been following the rumors about Beyoncé and her ventures, you're aware that she hasn't been performing as well as anticipated. We thought that things would be different with the tour, but the streets are claiming that Beyoncé's in her flop era after she struggled to sell out her Cowboy Carter tour, even though tickets have been available for a while. Several shows are still not sold out, according to various sources, which is strange given that everyone thought the tour would sell out in a flash. However, there are rumors that Beyoncé's father, Matthew, may blame Jay-Z for Beyoncé's failure to sell out the tour, and it appears that the two men may not get along. Did Jay-Z sabotage Beyoncé, or is she still dealing with the fallout from his messy essay? Litigation. I know you all remember Ivy Park and how it didn't live up to the expectations, so let's break this down. As I mentioned earlier, this isn't the first time that Beyoncé has been rumored to be struggling. You would think that someone of Beyoncé's caliber wouldn't have any trouble selling out, but Ivy Park simply wasn't doing it for many people. I have to give Beyoncé credit when Ivy Park first came out because it was a hole. F was willing to risk everything to get their hands on a piece while the brand was flying off the shelves, and to be honest, it made sense. The first few collections got everyone talking, and sales were through the roof, but Beyoncé isn't one of those superstars who continuously flood the market with meaningless merchandise. When she puts her name on anything, people want quality exclusivity and a little bit of that queen bee magic. According to insiders, the brand wasn't just struggling, it was actually losing money. This is a little shocking because you would think that her name alone would keep the brand thriving, but apparently even the biggest superstars aren't immune to the ups and downs of the fashion industry. As time went on, the hype began to fade, and what was once a must-have became something that people weren't rushing to buy anymore. Comprehensive evaluation from the Wall Street Journal, the total of all the drops that Ivy Park made in 2022 is about $40 million. While this may seem like a lot of money, it was far less than the anticipated range of Adidas, the brand's partner, according to the Journal, which stated that Ivy Park sales fell by more than 50% to about $40 million in 2022. Falling short of internal advertising estimates for $250 million in sales that year, according to documents the Wall Street Journal examined. Nevertheless, an Adidas representative told Forbes that presumptions about Ivy Park are untrue, stating that the company's relationship with Ivy Park is solid and prosperous, and that it is still motivated by our shared vision and is proud of the work we have produced together. Reveal important financial data for each product category. However, because Adidas eventually discontinued the line, it's likely that it wasn't profitable after that. Beyoncé launched her perfume brand and explored a number of other new ventures, all of which appeared to be going rather well. We don't know much about Sir Davis' health since the release of her Sacred hairline and her Sir Davis whiskey brand. The initial excitement surrounding the launch, but Sac appears to be doing fairly well. Raven reviews of the line have been posted on social media, and fans appear to be enamored because many of the products are consistently sold out. So yes, she appears to have found her footing in her business, which is why it's surprising that a number of news outlets are saying that she is having trouble in the main area where she has consistently produced excellent music. She announced the Cowboy Carter tour a few weeks ago, but according to some reports, the shows are not selling out as planned. The only shows that have sold out are the 3 in Paris, and her lay shows are still having trouble selling out. Several fans have criticized her for the high cost of the tickets, pointing out that some of them are as much as $5,000 and that those aren't even the VIP tickets. There are rumors that the high ticket prices aren't the only reason she isn't selling out, because some people believe that the scandal surrounding her husband, Jay-Z, I'm referring to the scandal where he was accused of allegedly saying, may have something to do with it. The economy isn't exactly doing well right now, and many people seem to think that she is doing too much with those prices. According to a lawsuit brought by the defendant Sean Combs and his longtime friend and collaborator Shan Carter, also known as Jay-Z, a 13-year-old girl attended an after-party after the 2000 Video Music Awards. Another celebrity watched as Combs and Carter took turns saw in the minor, while numerous other people were there but did nothing to stop it. The essay, since he is not his close buddy, Combs has been able to act in this way for years without facing any repercussions since he feels above the law. Combs and Sean Carter have been together for a number of the incidents detailed above, in which both offenders must face fairness. Jay-Z criticized the case right away and accused the attorney of extortion, claiming in the statement that his counsel had received a blackmail effort known as a demand letter from Tony Busby. A lawyer, he had estimated that the severity of these accusations and the public scrutiny would lead me to want to settle. No, sir. However, the reverse happened, and I wanted to publicly expose you as the fraud that you are, so no, I wouldn't give you a red. I beg you, Penny, to file a criminal complaint rather than a civil one since these accusations are so egregious. If that were the case, the lawsuit was dropped after it was determined that it had no merit. The alleged victim reportedly stated that she was coerced and forced into naming Jay-Z in the lawsuit by the lawyer, whom Jay-Z believes is after his own selfish interests. Would you not agree that anyone who would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away? Fans are now speculating that Beyoncé's father, Matthew, might feel the same way about this and how the scandal affected his daughter, and even though he has been exonerated, it was still a very messy time for him. The scandal also painted him and his family in a negative light, which probably hurt Beyoncé's ticket sales because there were calls for her and her husband to be canceled. I forgot, before she sacked him after learning that he had been mismanaging her finances and that he had cheated on her mother and gotten someone else pregnant, Matthew was Beyoncé's manager. However, Jaguar Wright has always called BS on this, asserting that Matthew gave him authority over Beyoncé. To Jay's after their marriage.
Business arrangement. She was a dowry. He married her and he got to have control of the Houston rap scene behind the scenes. Matthew Knowles handed it over to him, and then he fucked Daddy over, moved him out the way, and took the whole for himself. They were supposed to share that. They're supposed to share. But Sean Carter don't share so good. He likes to keep everything all to himself. And anything that he can't move around or move out the way, he'll just remove.
Not that Beyoncé was actually sold to Jay-Z, but if this is the case, it would explain why some people believe Matthew would be unhappy that Jay-Z pulled her into this situation. Despite the fact that he has been vindicated, but devotees are certain that the high cost of the tickets is the reason she isn't selling out. They commented, well, perhaps if they weren't $300 for a nosebud in certain cities, people couldn't afford to travel. They would sell more due to the economy. I like her, but those costs are hurting me. I believe it was ill-timed since she is avaricious and her fans don't have enough money because her tickets are pricey and she was recently on tour. I've always wanted to see Beyoncé perform live as well as other musicians I enjoy. But the problem is that ticket costs are out of control. And while everyone wants to go on tour, some people can't afford to spend that much money. A concert ticket costs hundreds of dollars. However, I'm curious what you guys think, so leave a comment below and watch this following video.